Hello, welcome to our mother and daughter channel. We're going to do a standing yoga sequence today. You'll just need a mat. If you have any blocks, that would be useful but not essential. So this sequence will be a bit slower and I'm going to explain some of the most common standing yoga poses. So this should be accessible for everyone. So let's start in our mountain pose, Tadasana. So your feet are about hip width apart. You're lifting up your toes to engage your arches and just sense that your feet are grounded. So you've got the weight in four corners of the feet. And just sense your feet. And just see if you can elongate your spine as much as possible. So feeling nice and tall. Let's just place our hands around our belly area and our lower ribs and just start to tune into your breath, following the inhale and the exhale. Ideally breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if you can. Ujjayi breath sounds like the waves of the ocean. Now we'll do a short warm-up, so let's just start rolling the shoulders back. Inhaling to lift, exhaling, releasing. Just imagine releasing some tension out of the body and the other way. Now we'll lift the neck up slightly and then down. Back to center, side to side. Nice and gentle with the neck. Now we'll take a side stretch, so you might want to widen the feet a bit. We're going to inhale, side stretch. So you can have your hands supporting you. That can feel more comfortable on the lower back. Inhale, exhale. One more. Excellent. Now we're just going to open up the chest, the shoulders, so you could have your hands like this, or you could interlace. Just get a little bit of a shoulder stretch, chest stretch here. Breathe. Good, just release the shoulders. Now we'll come into a gentle forward fold. So if you have any problems with your lower back, you could use a chair to hinge onto, so you've got more support. So just lifting up nice and tall. We're going to hinge from the hips, so the hips come back. Bend the knees as much as you can. Just come into a nice gentle forward fold. So bending the knees. Breathing nice and steadily. Just relax the face. And then slowly uncurling the spine. You can use your hands on your legs to come back up. One vertebrae at a time. Good. We'll just warm up the body by doing some marches. Also requires a little bit of balance. Let's warm up the body a bit more before we come into our standing postures. Excellent. So the first standing posture we'll do is Warrior One. So we're going to face this side of the mat, have our feet hip width apart and bring one leg back. So when we bring this leg back, we want to make sure we have enough space here. So we don't want to be on a tightrope. That's quite hard to balance. So you find a place that you feel stable. This knee is always in line with the ankle. So we don't want to shoot that knee over the foot. So feel free to adjust the foot. It could be a bit wider. You could bring it in a bit more. Good. So find a nice place for your Warrior One. So your hands can be here. They could be in prayer, or you could raise them up. We just have a few breaths here. Feeling a nice stretch on the hip flexor as well. Check you're pressing down on the outer edge of the back foot if you can. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Excellent. And we'll change legs. So just bring this leg forward and then switch legs. So taking the other leg back. So just finding a good place for your back leg. Just keep that knee in line with the ankle. Pressing on the outer edge of that back foot. So you can have your hands here on your hips in prayer, or you could raise them up for our warrior one. So here is a heart opening pose. There's a little bit of a back bending expression. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Excellent. Bring that leg back into our mountain pose. Take a few breaths here. Well done. Now we'll come into our warrior two. So you might want to just gently open the hips a bit first. Good, and let's just circle the hips as well, can feel quite nice. And the other way. Excellent. So for our warrior two, you're going to take a nice wide stance. So how wide you go is up to you. Start to press into your feet. So we have a lot of strength from the feet upwards, all into our legs. Turning one foot out 90 degrees. And the back foot just comes in slightly. So this could be your warrior two, or you might want to bend the front leg. So keep that knee in line with the ankle. And what we want to avoid is this, rolling the knee in. So we want to keep that knee in line with the ankle. Good. So feel your weight is in both legs. Another thing we want to avoid is this, where we're reaching over too much. Just bring the weight in the back leg as well. Good, so let's have a few breaths here. You can gaze over that middle finger. That's our drishti, our focus. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Press through the feet to come back out. Just wiggle the hips a little bit. And we repeat on the other side. So one foot out 90 degrees, back foot in, checking that knees in line with the ankle and your weight is in both legs. Hands can be here or on your hips. Just gazing through that middle finger if you can, breathing. Press through the feet to come back up. Just give the hips a little release. Excellent. Back into our mountain pose. Just check in with your breath. And we'll take the legs out again for triangle pose. So we're not quite as wide as warrior two. You're going to take that right leg out, 90 degrees, back foot in. So here we just want to encourage a bit of freedom in the hips. It's quite nice to just move them slightly. So for our triangle, you may need a block. So the first expression of triangle is to think about having a nice elongated spine. This shoulder is rolling back, so we're not like this. We're just encouraging good posture. So we could stay here. Maybe the arm comes up. If you're more flexible, you may come down a little bit more, but check how this feels on your lower back. Don't do anything that feels wrong for your body. This is where you could use a block if you're ready, but it's far better to Work at your own pace. Find your triangle. A few breaths here. Press through the feet to come back up. Wiggle the hips a little bit, and we'll repeat on the other side. So foot out 90 degrees, back foot in. Just give the hips a little bit of movement here. So a triangle, we're thinking of the front hip coming in, the back hip back. So working both sides of the waist, keeping it as long as possible, keeping that shoulder back. So it's far better to stay here than come into a triangle where we're kind of bent over. With time, you may find more freedom in the body. You could use a block. Maybe the arm comes up. You could look down if this causes any discomfort on your neck. Just have a few breaths here. Press through the feet to come back up. Release the hips. Now we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. So you could do this leaning onto a chair. You could use blocks. So again, find that grounding with your feet. So all our standing postures, you want to think of your feet first. So get that sensation of being grounded, and from the strength of your feet, we're kind of encouraging some strength in our legs. Lifting up nice and tall, hinging from the hips. You could have a slight bend in the knees. You could stay here, you could hold onto a chair, you could use blocks, or you could come all the way down, depending on how flexible you are. Exhale to release any tension from the body. Think of a few thoughts spilling out of your mind that you'd like to let go of. Pressing through the feet, you could heel toe the feet in, use your hands to come up. And let's just inhale up and exhale, release. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And we'll just stretch out a little bit more because we're going to come into a side angle. So there's quite a lot of work in the upper body as well. Excellent. So we'll come into our wide stance again, and we're going to turn the front foot out 90 degrees, back foot in, just like our warrior two. Going to bend the leg to a comfortable position. The weight is in both legs equally. So this is like our warrior two. And if we want to come into side angle, we can rest one hand here, reaching up. So we're reaching out of both sides of the waist. Pressing into the feet to activate the legs. Breathing here. Pressing through the feet to come back up. Then switching legs. So bending that front knee, checking it's in line with the ankle. You're not rolling that knee in. Encourage that knee to stay in line. In our warrior, and then we just come into our side angle. Few breaths here. Of course, if you are more flexible, you could always use a block here. Good. Press through the feet to come back up. Just release the hips a bit. Back into our mountain pose, breathing in, breathing out. Now for some balance, we'll experiment with tree pose. So soft bend in one knee, use something to support you, a chair or a wall if you're uncomfortable with balance. So our first expression is here in tree pose. So we're getting this hip to turn out. and some support in our side hip. So you could stay here, you could try the calf or the thigh. So whatever challenges your balance, hands could be in prayer. Or you could challenge yourself by raising the arms up. And remembering to have a kind of playful attitude of balance. So it's fun. Good. And release that leg. Just walk out the legs a bit. We'll repeat on the other side. So let's use our feet. Spread the feet as much as you can. Soft bend in the knee. Still feel like you're lifting up as much as you can. So you could stay here. The calf or the thigh. You may have a better side. That's quite normal for balance. Check you're still breathing. For more of a challenge, you could raise your arms up into a tree shape. Excellent. Just release that. Let's just take away any tension in the body. Let's just do a few swings, getting a little bit of a twist. Excellent. And now let's just come back into our prayer position, just to reconnect with our breath. Seeing if you can breathe in through the nose for 4 and then breathe out for 4. So this can help equalize our breath, can help to calm us down. Inhale for 4 and then exhale for 4. Excellent. So hope you enjoyed your standing yoga sequence. If you have any comments or anything you'd like us to do in the future, please let us know. Hope you have a lovely day and thank you for your practice.